It is Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. This is another offseason edition of Baseball Today. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan along for the ride as well. Yes, I have a very different setup. I'm not doing like a singing audition or anything or recording any tracks, but I am teaching at Butler a few days before the NFL scouting combine, so I get to see Brady and all that, and it's been fun, Plouffe.
You feel like you're back on the college campus again?
Yeah.
Just living vicariously through Brady? I love it. I want to come do that too.
I know. If it wasn't so damn cold, it would be great here in Indianapolis. But it's a lot of fun. I've met with a ton of really bright, interesting kids. And I will tell you the best news of all, every class I go into, so I've done 2 classes. I did a club last night. I had a lunch meeting with some people on day 1. And so I probably met with 100 kids. And I would ask them to raise their hands. How many of you know about John Boy Media? And virtually everybody knows about it. So, in fact, before we started today's show, one of the kids I met with during office hours was like, "Do you know Dan Rourke?" And I was like, "Do I know Dan Rourke?" He goes, "I've been a huge Yankee Avenues fan ever since I was a little kid." So I was like, I had to bring him in. He met Dan before the show and everything. I was like, "Oh, Plouffe, you had to take a back seat to our little Dan Rourke."
That's fine. I'm happy. I'm happy for Dan. You know, like he's a young, developing guy. He needs that confidence. Love it for Dan.
Yes,
It's good for the company too.
All right, we got a tight ship today, so let's get to it. We'll start off with a little tip of the cap. For those of you that are sports fans or just love our country, what a great conclusion to the Milan Winter Olympic Games. It ended with Team USA scoring the golden goal in overtime to beat Team Canada. And George Springer, who, of course, plays his home games in Canada these days, had to rub it in, wearing his jersey. He's screaming at the top of his lungs, "Woo, USA." He actually took a live BP in a Team USA sweater. I thought it was awesome.
I mean, I love it too as an American because there's nothing better than beating Canada at hockey. But like, is he losing fans up there in Toronto or what, man?
You know what? First bomb he hits, he'll get him back.
Yeah, because they're taking it. They're taking it. It's tough.
It's
tough
tough
for Canadians right now.
It is tough, and people saying, well, it's not real hockey, 3-on-3. I understand all that. But we know the rules when we get to overtime. It's not like we sprung it on anybody. So Canada dominated for like the last 40 minutes of the game and still couldn't win. You know, we killed, a power play. All right, anyway, this is not a hockey pod, but whatever. So now let's get to more international play, but on the baseball side of things. World Baseball Classic creeping up on us. 2-time Cy Young Award winner Tarik Skubal made a little news. First of all, on Monday, he was back at it against your Minnesota Twins, and I know it's only 1 start, but the guy is ridiculous. 4 strikeouts, 2 shutout innings while wearing these orange unis. When I first glanced through my social media, I was like, who the hell? What team is that? And then I saw it was the Tigers, so it was kind of cool. The bigger news, though, is that Skubal is going to be one and done for Team USA. He's going to pitch in the World Baseball Classic, first-round start against Great Britain, and then call it a tournament. He said, I'm trying to do both things, trying to pitch for Team USA, but I understand the need to be here with these guys and getting ready for the Tigers season. I think it's kind of the best of both worlds in that aspect, and I'm grateful that they took me in that capacity. Skubal did add that if they go to the finals in the World Baseball Classic, I'm going to lobby to just go watch and be with the guys. Some people have criticized Skubal, saying, didn't you just see what Team USA did in hockey? Don't you want to be a part of that? What say you?
I don't love it, Chris. You know, obviously I want this guy pitching for Team USA, but I completely understand it. Okay, look, like I know we're riding this high, this American pride. WBC is awesome, and the best case scenario for the team would be to have Skubal starting every single game that he can. But we have to think about where he is in his career. Okay, like very few people even make it to free agency. Okay. It takes forever. You get drafted by a team. They have control of you for like 6 years before they have to put you on the 40-man roster. Then you're on the 40-man roster, and you have 6 years until you get to really choose 6 more years until you get to choose your future, like where you get to go or where you get to sign. So like we're talking about anywhere from 10 to 12 years. We're having no control. And I think he's realizing like, hey, like this is my platform year. I don't really want to take any extra chances. Him going out already when he signed up for Team USA, I was pretty surprised just because of where he was in his contract, in the walk year. So I got my hopes up, but I completely understand the decision. And not only that, Chris, like not only is he in his platform year and all this, but like the Tigers have been a very good baseball team the last couple of years. He does understand this is probably going to be his last year there. So he does want to win with these guys. He's got a lot of stuff going on. And when you're the best pitcher in the world, I guess there is a lot of people tugging at you from each way, but I'm not disappointed in his decision. It does make me a little sad, but I completely understand where he's coming from.
I will say this. I love watching Tarik Skubal pitch, even though he's in the same division as our two favorite teams. Like, the guy is a beast, and I think he's really easy to root for on a national level. I think he's a guy that you would, like, the United States would get so much behind him. But with all that being said, I want somebody in the comments to explain to me why you'd be upset with this. Like, why don't you understand this? He wants a taste of it, so he wants to make a start. I'm sure he would love being around Paul Skeens and Logan Webb and Aaron Judge and all of the guys that are going to be Bryce Harper and all the guys that are going to be playing for this sport, the guys that he doesn't get to interact with on an everyday basis. Like, I think he's going to have a little FOMO when he pitches and then goes back. I think he really is. But at the same time, I want somebody to explain to me why you would be upset. I think disappointed is okay. Like, oh, man, I'm kind of bummed that I don't get to see him go out there and throw for our country more than once. But you have to just take a big step back and understand the big picture here. There is no perfect time to play this tournament. There just isn't. And so whatever you get out of certain guys, if it's one game, 8 at-bats, we have to accept that as baseball fans, I think.
He'd also, if this was next year and he'd already signed his big contract, he'd be there for the long haul. He's really just safeguarding himself, and that's fine. Like, I promise you, like, you put yourself in his position, I think you'd see it a lot differently if you're someone that's telling him that he needs to go pitch the whole time. Look, we just need innings in this tournament. He's giving you a game of innings, which I think is nice. There's plenty of people who are on the team already that can step up. And then, hey, a few that I'm sure are happy and say, hey, I want a shot at this now. So the one thing that I thought about right away was, if you're Team Great Britain, are you kidding me, bro? We get one game and you're picking this one? Like, that's tough.
Did I read somebody put out on social media, and I apologize for not remembering who it was, it said Clayton Kershaw is going to lead Team USA in innings pitched. And then the World Baseball Classic, just go. Like, it doesn't matter. We're just running that guy into the ground.
We'll see who comes. I mean, they still have Nolan McLean. They still have Logan Webb. They still have Paul Skeens. My guy Joe Ryan, I think, is out for the WBC. I don't know if that's been announced yet or not. He hasn't told me anything, but.
Did you just break some news?
I didn't. I really don't know. But he skipped his first start with the Twins with like a minor back issue. So
yeah, well, that's good because there's no pitching problems in Minnesota these days.
Yeah, no kidding.
I feel so bad for Pablo Lopez. We haven't done a show since they announced he's having surgery. That stinks. Really one of the good guys in this game. And selfishly, from a Minnesota standpoint, there's very few things I think to look forward to pitching-wise with that team. He and Joe Ryan are two of them, and it really, really stinks. That's horrible. All right, let's move on if you don't mind. Pete Alonso. Guy may have flown south in his career from New York down to Baltimore this offseason, but the former Met, he's looking right at home with his new squad.
Guys, over the last 6 years anyway. Alonso drives the ball to deep left field. The first of many absolute hammer jobs for Pete Alonso, Baltimore Oriole.
Yeah, there he is. Pete Alonso doing his thing. He's already hit a few bombs, and apparently everything is great. Like, he's watching every teammate's at bat with the intention of, like, a hitting coach. Like, everything has been great so far. But Mets legend Darryl Strawberry had something to say about Alonso leaving the only team he's ever played with. He said Pete could have broken all the records, could have been on top of every offensive category for this organization. Then sometimes when you don't see that and realize how important it is, one day he's going to wake up just like I did and regret you didn't stick where you're at. Does Darryl have a point here or not?
No, not really. I think that there are a lot of people who, if you asked them, hey, like the team that drafts you, do you want to stay there your whole career? They'll probably at the beginning say absolutely. But then as you get into an organization, and maybe it suits you, maybe it doesn't. I think there is. I mean, I still one of those people that thinks it is cool if you stick with an organization the entire time, but it takes two to tango, and I think that's kind of like the situation here with Pete and the Mets. I mean, last year he settles for a 1-year deal. And then this year comes out and really never got an offer, unless there was something behind the scenes that we didn't hear about. Like he never really got that offer from them. So, you know, maybe at the end of his career, he'll be like, that would have been cool that I could be on top of all the Mets offensive categories. But again, like it just didn't work out there for him. And we'll see. Like I have Pete Alonso playing for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, however long he stays in Baltimore, we'll see. But this guy is going to be coveted by teams for a long time. So we'll see where he ends up. Maybe he does end up back with the Mets in the back end of his career. But I don't think Darryl really thought that through enough because, again, it takes two people to tango.
Well, so he did kind of add in this story, I believe it was with Mike Puma, where he said that he believed it was a combination of the club and Alonso not working hard enough to get a deal done. He said, I think they both could have fought harder in that situation. We all know that Pete was a free agent after 2024, went back on a 2-year deal with a 1-year opt-out, and so now he has opted out. And Strawberry just felt like maybe both sides could have come together. I don't think that could have happened because I don't think David Stearns wanted to give Pete Alonso anything more than a 3-year deal. And so what is Pete Alonso supposed to do? I understand a little bit of what Darryl is saying from this standpoint. If you make it in New York, that is different than anywhere else, whether that is with the Yankees or the Mets, for the most part. There are a few other teams. Baltimore, although they have a wonderful baseball tradition, it's not looked at on the same level as when you are a star in New York. So if you are the guy, even if it's with the Mets compared to the Yankees, there's something a little special about that. And Darryl can tell you that because he did. I remember this. When he left the Mets and he went to his hometown Dodgers, that was a big, big deal. And there were a lot of people who are like, bro, you helped that team win in 1986. You are a guy in your 20s and you're loving life and doing that. He's like, no, I'm going to chase it in LA. So he's a guy that has experienced it, and he probably does regret it.
That's his own experience that he's kind of like projecting onto Pete. Not everyone wants to play in New York. I think that's also facts.
Yeah, but don't you think Pete did a remarkable job handling himself there? I thought he was
absolutely.
A+. I thought he was.
You want to know why? Because he's just a ball player, Chris. This guy just loves ball. Like that's exactly what hardcore fan bases like the Mets and the Yankees. They just want guys that love ball. They just want them to be ball players. They don't care about what you're doing off the field. You know, just play, like work hard, give your max effort. Which like no one can say Pete Alonso dogs it, dude. He is. Like I said, just a yard rat. He works anywhere.
Yeah. What else does Pete Alonso do? I know he's got a baby, but that
I saw him hunting one time on the show called Meat Eater.
Really? What were you doing?
It is called Meat Eater. Don't look at me like that.
But you're not a hunter.
I'm not. I do like the outdoors a lot, so sometimes he goes fishing. This same guy. It's not all hunting.
You go fishing one time a year with your brothers.
That's just not true, Chris.
When was it?
I just caught a freaking wahoo down in Cabo like 3 weeks ago.
That's different. That's rich people fishing. That's
big game fishing.
That is definitely different than.
I mean, it's ocean fishing. What are you supposed to do? Go on a kayak in the freaking Pacific outside of Cabo? You're gonna die.
Okay, fisher. You know what? We need the fisher men and women.
I grew up on the greatest bass fishing lake in the history of the world, Castaic Lake. You didn't even know the history of that lake.
When was the last time you fished in Castaic Lake?
It's been a while since I fished there. Yeah. It's changed because they brought the aqueduct in. The stripers came down. They started eating all the largemouth bass. Now it's a world-class striper lake. It used to be largemouth bass, but it's not here nor
there. Let's go fishing one time.
Let's go.
I am not a fisherman.
I do freshwater. I do saltwater, whatever you want, man.
I get terribly bored.
You know where you would love? Just like surf fishing, like on the beach in Malibu. Throw some poles out, throw some squid. You don't even know what you're gonna catch. You can catch all sorts of stuff.
You know who loves to fish, and that's all he did during his time off during his baseball career? Deion Sanders.
Yeah, he
loves
yeah. He's got like lakes and stuff on his property. He just takes out and
he said he used to be able to spend all day on a boat. He had a hard time getting teammates to spend all day on a boat with him.
He's a bass fisherman.
I don't get it.
Come on, Chris. I can't believe you said that about me.
Let's continue on. Today's episode, Baseball Today, is sponsored by Amazon. When life throws you a curveball, Amazon's everyday low prices on essentials helps you save the day. Amazon simply has everything you need, whenever you need it. From planned purchases to unexpected moments, they've got everything in one place, saving you time and money so you can focus on what matters most. I'll give you an example. I'm in the middle of a 2-week road trip. I forgot something. I forgot these heart gummies that I take. What do? I got them on order. I had them sent to the house. Michelle met me in Indianapolis. Now I'm feeling great. I got my heart gummies. I'm good to go. And it's all because of Amazon. All I did was take my phone. I ordered them up. I said, "Hun, they're coming to the house. Do you mind bringing them with you when we meet up?" She was like, first she gave me a kiss, and then she goes, "Here's your heart gummies." Both made my heart flutter in a good way. So from tech to clothing to daily needs, anything else you need to prepare for the start of the baseball season, Amazon has everything you need all in one convenient place, and they can deliver to you anytime, anywhere. I'm proof of that. So whether it's routine shopping or handling life's curveballs, shop Amazon, save on essentials, save the everyday. All right, interesting stuff from our buddy PCA. Did you see he is Chicago Magazine's cover boy? Some of those pictures, by the way. Nuts, huh?
I didn't see him.
Oh, you haven't seen the look?
Oh.
Yeah. How we doing in the team shower?
Okay.
All right. Oh, there he is, the center of attention.
Cheeser.
Yeah. All right, so he talked about a whole bunch of different things, including helping the Cubs get back to the playoffs. His quote was, "What the fuck are you playing for if you're not trying to play in the playoffs and win the World Series? There's more to life than baseball, but maybe not for me right now. That shit is my life." Do you love Pete's mentality, or would you tell him to cool his jets just a little bit?
No, absolutely not. It's cool to realize. I don't know if this is going to come out right. Let me think. It's cool to realize, like, when you're in it, when you realize how much it means. Because a lot of times you're just like got your head down, you're just putting in work, trying to survive. And you don't really get a good perspective on kind of like what you're doing. And if I was to talk, when I do talk to guys, like young guys, I tell them, I'm like, listen, man, like this is your shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the time to go all out and do everything you can. I wish somebody kind of told me that. And every once in a while, like Justin Morneau would kind of remind me of it. But again, you just kind of lose track of that. Like it becomes just like normal to you. And I think every once in a while you need to zoom out and say, well, no, this is the most important part of my life up until now, where I have to kind of like push everything into the middle and just go all in. And if Pete's at that point now, it's excellent because it's the perfect time to do it for him.
So I went to Cubs spring training last week, and I spoke with him. And one of the questions I asked him was, what was the best piece of advice you've gotten from either a veteran or a manager or coach on your baseball journey? And he said it was actually last year, Craig Counsell telling me, give yourself some grace. And I think one of PCA's wonderful attributes that we all love with him as a player is that he feels like he's going a gazillion miles an hour all the time. And I think one thing he's struggling with is learning how to dial it back and be okay with just not being good at times. Like, it wore on him. He had such a wonderful first half of the season, and then like the middle of July hit, and he was a totally different ball player. He had a sub 450 OPS in August, sub 450. He had sub 650 then in September. And you could see when he got a couple of big hits in the playoffs, how much of a relief it was because he was so tightly wound for all of this. So with the quote, I love it from one standpoint because you want a guy who's 23 years old to be all in and not just enjoy being a big leaguer, but enjoy winning at the highest level and chasing that dream. But I think being around this game as long as I have, the best guys there are the ones that are able to find the balance. And I think he's searching for that. And I worry when he has quotes like this that he hasn't quite achieved that part of the game. Is that possible?
I think everybody goes to this, especially when you have that initial success. You get to the big leagues and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm him. Like I'm the guy. Like I belong here. And that's a great feeling to have. And you have to continue to find that. But you are, when inevitably you do have those struggles, like it wears on you big time at first. And yes, you do have to find a way to navigate that. That's why, you talk to any baseball player, like, I don't want to be up here. I want to just be as calm as possible throughout the season. I want the season to become kind of like monotone because I know that if I put my work in through 162, my numbers will be what my numbers should be. And you're going to have the peaks and valleys throughout it. But that's a learned trait, man. And again, especially because if you start so hot and then you have that low that he had, I mean, that valley right there that he went through last year is a tough first one. But I'm sure he learned a lot from it. And if he comes out and has success again this year, he'll he'll understand like, okay, like this is just what the big leagues is, man. And because he's young and doesn't have a lot of time in the big leagues, like he'll figure it out. He'll be fine for it. But I don't think he needs to ever lose that drive. The rest of the stuff with time will figure itself out. It's keeping that drive, focusing on baseball as much as he has. That's something you can't lose.
Right. I would agree with that. There are going to be some people that say, hold on, you're saying this out of one side of your mouth, but then throughout the month of February or whatever, or late January, you and Caleb Williams were showing up at every game, Blackhawks, Bull. Like, what's he supposed to do? Kid's 23.
That's fine. That doesn't mean he's not working hard.
Right. Exactly. So let's just slow our roll. I love him. And he has really become a focal point of the media in that city. He's really bright. I think he's well thought out. He's got two parents that have done, I think, a terrific job with him. And he has seen the success and the failure. Remember the first year he came up, he went, what was it, like 0 for 14 or something? He carried that into the offseason with him. And then, he started to kind of burst onto the scene. And just the way he plays, man, he's fun to watch. He's one of those dudes where as long as you're not a fan of another NL Central team, I think he's a easy fan favorite in this sport.
I think he rubbed the one the wrong way, Chris. I think we're about to get into it right now.
He did add in this article, I love Chicago more and more. It's just an incredible city. The people are great. They give a shit. They aren't just baseball fans who go to games like Dodger fans to take pictures and whatever. They're paying attention. They care. Reaction.
Okay. Again, love Pete, young ball player. There are times where you're giving an interview and you know it's going out to your fans, or maybe you're doing a panel and your fans are there asking you questions or whatever. You just want to give the answers that appease them and you forget about the rest of the world. You're like in that moment and I want to say the most badass thing to my fan base. And you forget like, okay, this is going to get out everywhere. I think that's what happened here. He didn't really want to cheap shot the Dodgers, but I feel like he wanted to pump his own fan base up in doing that cheap shot at Dodger fans. He knows this guy's an LA guy. Like, go to a Dodger game. There's, of course, going to be people there that are just there for the glitz and the glamour of it, but there's a hell of a lot of people that are super into the Dodgers, man. I mean, look at the attendance there. Not all of those people are just there to take selfies. There's some diehard baseball fans. Los Angeles in its own is one of the greatest baseball hotbeds that's ever existed. Pete Armstrong is a product of that. He understands it. So, again, I think he was just caught up in the moment trying to psych Cubs fans up. And kind of the Dodgers got a little ricochet shot there. I don't think he truly means that. At least I hope he does it. Come on, Pete.
Well, I know this, that on April 24th, when he steps into the batter's box, for the first time, it's not going to be friendly at Dodger Stadium, even though he's from there. And maybe in years past there was some clapping. There will not, because people are going to blow that up. And if you say it, you say it. You got to wear it. And he'll probably come out and backpedal. I don't know if that'll be today, or just say, hey, I didn't really mean that, or, whatever. But he's going to have to wear it. And that's part of the growing up process. I guarantee, I know the Cubs PR people, they probably read that quote and they're, oh, Jesus. Really?
Well, look, there's Cubs fans that go there to take selfies too. Not every single Cubs fan is like a diehard.
It's true. I mean, for years, they were a crappy team, so people just loved going to Wrigley because it's fun and you drink beer and you go party it up. The game was just kind of the game.
Like I said, he's just trying to fire his own fan base up. That's all it is. It's like when Vladdy doing stuff and talking about like the Yankees and it's the same.
You know what? If there's a little edge to the Dodgers Cubs series because of it, I'm sign up for it.
Yeah.
I would like, we have a lot of Dodger fans, obviously, that consume this show. So in the comments section, go ahead and let us know. Like, does it kind of ruffle your feathers a little bit? Is it not a big deal? If you're going to that game on April 24th when the Cubs come into town, are you going to let PCA know about it? Does it not even matter?
Dodgers fans are too fat right now. They're polishing their ring. They don't care.
Yeah, that's true.
Sheesh.
And I will say this, having lived in Los Angeles for more than a quarter century now, and I had my, my thoughts about fandom out here. They are excellent Lakers and Dodgers fans. The rest of it, they're kind of up and down with. Those two fan bases are very, very good fan bases.
I think USC football too. I think it's a good fan base.
You and I can discuss offline.
Okay.
Today's episode sponsored by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Life's a trip, so why not make the most of it? With over 4,000 hotels worldwide, Best Western is there for every detour, destination, unexpected twist and turn along the way. Great stay isn't just about where you sleep. It's about where the journey takes you next. And when you stay 3 nights at Best Western, you're going to receive a $50 gift card to use for your next stay. As you can tell, Best Western gets it. Traveling isn't one size fits all, so whether you're looking for the next great adventure, time to unwind, making memory with friends and families, Best Western helps you achieve your travel goals. It doesn't matter if you're flying solo or with your friends or with the entire roster, Best Western has got you covered. All you got to do is pack your bags, queue up that playlist, book more of what matters most. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at bestwestern.com. All right, Max Scherzer still without a home. His most recent team, though, the Toronto Blue Jays, showing some interest, according to Ben Nicholson-Smith of Sportsnet. Scherzer, of course, had an ERA over 5 in 17 starts. It wasn't pretty last year for the Jays, but he did flash some of that old future Hall of Fame form at times in the postseason. Now, with Shane Bieber a question mark to start the season, is bringing in Max Scherzer a no-brainer for the Jays?
I would love it for them. We talk about pitching depth all the time, and then you got a guy who can just kind of help out some of the guys, the young guys that you have there. You Savage, even like a Cody Ponce, like bringing him in and letting him work around Scherzer, I think makes a lot of sense. I talk about that all the time with these veterans, and Scherzer's a perfect example of that. So I'm into it. I don't know what the dollar amount would be, but I don't think the Blue Jays necessarily care right now about the dollar amount. They want to run it back. And, I'd be curious to see what kind of role he would have at the beginning. I don't know if they bring him back. Is he cracking the top 5 right now? Would it lead to a 6-man? Would he be a swing guy? So I'd be interested in that. But I think if they can get him at like the right price and they find a role for him, yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Any team should bring Max Scherzer, and just for the chance for their young pitchers to watch him work and to talk to him about pitching. It's worth it.
It doesn't make sense to me here, though.
Yeah.
Even though there's no Bowden Francis this year, right? He's out for the year with surgery. Gossman, Cease, Ponce, Yasavich, Barrios, who's back in good graces and, more importantly, good health. He threw over the weekend and said he felt fine. And don't forget about Lauer.
Yeah.
Lauer's pissed. He wants to be a starter, to be honest with you. And he's pissed. He feels like he lost his arbitration hearing because he was a starter for part of last year because of the injury problems. Pitched exceptionally well. Ernie Clement called him their team MVP in the middle of the year. That's how good he was. But then they had other guys come in. They traded for Bieber. He moved back to the bullpen where he was really good in the playoffs and everything. But he feels like because he got pulled out and lost his innings, that cost him his arbitration hearing. So he's kind of pissed as is. In fact, if they sign Scherzer, I think he goes in to their offices and says, "Get me somewhere where I can start." I think that's what will happen if you bring in Max Scherzer, and I don't think that's what you want to do.
Max is also probably looking for a spot that he can come start at.
Of course he is.
He just want to kind of sit in the bullpen and get spot starts or be, a mop-up guy. So I don't know if this is the right fit either, like for him.
No,
but
it's not.
if I'm this is my take, bringing in a guy like that helps your organization. So I'd be willing to do it at a 1 year, almost. I don't know. What would it be? What's he searching for? It can't be like a 1 year 30, right? Is it
He's
1 year
searching for a
20?
chance to win another ring.
120? Is that what he's looking for? 115? What is he looking for?
20? $20 million?
What's he looking for?
He's looking for the opportunity to start and continue.
Okay, so what's the number? What did he make last year?
I think he was 14 or something.
Okay.
But he was signed, I think, right? Wasn't he signed with the thought that he would be a starter for them? Is that right? What did he get last year? 14 or 15?
Looking it up. He got 15.5 last year. Okay.
He's not going to get that this year. He'll get 10
12.
if he gets. Let me tell you, Atlanta should call him.
Atlanta's a good one.
Atlanta, at least, you think of your Max Scherzer, good team. Why not? I'll get to pitch, hang out with Chris Sale, Spencer Strider.
I mean, both of our teams should call him.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. All right, time right now for Stock Risers, brought to you by SeatGeek, where we take a look at the players and prospects who are ready to break out in 2026. Already talked about this guy before, Konnor Griffin. He's the number one prospect in all of baseball. Well, Bryce Harper, who knows what it's like to be 19 and have the expectations of the world on your shoulders, he got an up-close and personal look at him in a game recently, and the Philly broadcast crew talked to him about this dude.
I mean, obviously I don't play for the Pirates, but, I hope they let him, kind of move through the organization pretty quickly and, let him get to the big leagues. I mean, it's obviously it's tough when you're that age trying to play at a high level, but he's done it his whole life, and he wouldn't be in the position that he is if he wasn't who he is.
All right, does Harper's ringing endorsement change your thoughts about this kid at all?
No, I mean, I think he should be in the big leagues right away. I've said it the last time we talked about him. He's got to be one of the 26 best players in that organization. So, he needs to be there. I think that'd make for a fun storyline. There, it is incentivized now to have your young guys up there. He seems like a candidate for Rookie of the Year. We're looking for offense. We're looking for dynamic players on the Pittsburgh roster. So, let's let this guy go. I want to see it. We've all heard the scouting reports and the endorsements, whatnot. But I want to see it opening day. I want to see what he looks like, man.
It's a joke if he's not their starting shortstop on opening day, playing behind Paul Skeens. It's horrible. It's horrible for Pirates fans especially. It's a bad look for the sport. And don't give me the bullshit like the Cubs did a bunch of years ago with Chris Bryant that we need him to work on his defense. That stuff does not fly. And now they've obviously changed the rules where it's beneficial for the team if he ends up winning the Rookie of the Year or finishing top 2. Look, dude, it wouldn't shock me if by the end of the year he's their best hitter in the lineup at 19 or 20. I don't know when he turns 20, but let him play. Let him succeed. Let him fail. Let him be a star. And most importantly, let him be a guy where kids can go buy a jersey that has his name and number on the back. Like with Paul Skeens, it's in Velcro at this point because as much as you love him, you're living on borrowed time. But Jesus, if we got a kid that's 19 years old and we might be able to dangle a contract in front of him at some point, this could be it. It has been a long time since we've had this in Pittsburgh. Don't pull those shenanigans on the fan base. Don't do it.
You think I wonder if they use that as leverage. Like, hey, we want to sign you to this extension at this number.
But
we'll start you in the big leagues if you sign.
Oh, yeah. They're going to use that. You know what I'd say if I were him? F you.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
costing your team. You're costing your team. I believe
I don't think they can do that, but.
Oh, but don't. I mean, I wouldn't put it past squads. I don't know.
You don't
I'm
think Paul
excited.
Skeens is going to sign back with the Pirates in free agency?
Did you say Paul Skeens?
Do you think you can offer him like a piece of the franchise? Is that allowed?
No, you can't do that.
You can't do that? What?
Mm-mm.
You can do anything these days, Chris.
Can't do that. You know what we should do? We should just have open season, like NIL in college sports. Just let all these industries in Pittsburgh just chip in, because if the owner doesn't want to do it, let all those industries. Here, you know what, Paul? We'll give you stock options with our company. Just stay in Pittsburgh. Start doing that.
They might be trying.
Let's make it fun. That's what we should do for these smaller market teams. Local businesses can do stock options and other sort of rewards outside of it. I think it sounds perfectly fine.
I'm out on that.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That and get a new owner. If you can't do it, don't do it.
I got to run to my next Butler class, but I just want to remind everybody that use the code BASEBALL2026, 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. Go get them. Opening day's not too far away. We've got baseball. The NHL will be back in swing. College hoops still around. Tournaments coming your way. All sorts of good stuff. Concert, you want to go do that, do it as well. We will see you later this week. So for our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. Thanks so much for tuning in once again to Baseball Today.